Hello everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome to Business on News Desk. Now, government's intention to provide 2 billion cedis to save solvent local commercial banks from losing their universal licenses has been commended by some economists. One of such economists is senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Godfrey Bokpin. Speaking on the 2018 review of the economy and business environment by Joy Business on the JoyNews channel, Professor Bokpin said the move will ensure profits stay within the economy.
For some of these banks that have survived up to today, already suggest that they've been doing something slightly different from those that have gone under the water, and therefore perhaps they are alive to meet this intervention. Let me put it that way. I want to also believe that these indigenous banks, this won't be their first resort. This is almost like the last resort. They would prefer to be the 100% owner of that pie rather than perhaps, because this will also have ownership implications and all of that, management and all of that. So I want to believe that apart from that, I think that there is also that fear that if these indigenous banks didn't make it, and perhaps had to fold up, it's going to create a whole lot of
political
risk and all of that, employment, job losses.
Those issues came in the discussions, we understand the facts.
Yes, and all of that. Remember, even with UT Bank and Capital Bank, others felt that the government could have done something about it, and then all of that. The same thing with what Obama also went through with Lehman Brothers. They felt that, they could have acted a little and all of that. You see, because of the critical role that the banking industry plays, sometimes the level of intervention there may be slightly different from what it will happen with other industries.
Well, the central bank in the past year has revoked the licenses of some 7 banks who were deemed to be struggling and could have collapsed, leading to customers losing their deposits. Now, Joy Business understands each of the 6 banks will receive 280 million cedis to help them recapitalize. The amount will be administered by the Ghana Amalgamated Trust Limited and a special purpose vehicle incorporated on December 17 to invest in banks. The fund, Joy Business is learning, will be issued in exchange for shares within these banks to the government through the trust under the bailout package. Meanwhile, banking consultant Nana Otue Champong is also describing government's intervention as timely.
Bank was asked to bring their recapitalization plan. So that plan was, some of them were looking for foreign investors, looking for mergers and acquisitions. But as a backstop, the government assistance was always there. And that's why, as recent as 2-3 years ago, they put it in motion that those who made the effort but still cannot achieve it in one way or the other, because there's nothing like free lunch. So while they wanted investors, sometimes the conditions attached were such that the talks get fed through, because they have so much conditions attached to giving you a PESWA or a CD for your bank. So I think it's the timing. It's really a short-term investment to help them to overcome the recapitalization, and then the monies that are given to them, the trustees will have to decide whether they are leaving them long-term or they are going to take them back at a later stage.
In other news, the ECOWAS Commissioner for Agriculture and Environment and Water Resources is lauding Ghana's warehousing system and its role in ensuring food security within the continent. The Commissioner made the remarks at the ceremony in Tamale, which saw the National Food and Buffer Stock Company receive close to 3,000 tons of cereals from the ECOWAS Regional Food Security Reserve.
The 2,750 tons of cereal which was received by the National Food and Buffer Stock Company in its warehouses in Tamale and Yendi is composed of 1,000 tons of maize, 750 tons of white rice, 500 tons of millet and 500 tons of sorghum. The handing over of cereals by the ECOWAS was in accordance with a decision by the heads of states of member countries to operationalize the ECOWAS Regional Food Security Reserve. Speaking to Joy Business, the ECOWAS Commissioner for Agriculture, Environment and Water Resources praised the National Food and Buffer Stock Company for its efficient warehousing system.
L'expérience qui est en cours ici au Ghana, to construire des infrastructures de stockage, de moyens.
I believe the systems in place here in Ghana, whereby we have in place storage facilities in the cities as well as the rural areas, is a good thing. This will allow for the collection of harvest from farmers and assuring them of good prices for their produce when there is bumper harvest.
Et leur assurer de meilleurs prix.
On their part, government has decided to use a stock of 2,750 tons of cereal to supply schools under government's flagship free SHS program. Abdul Hanan Wahab is the CEO of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company.
When you look at it, it's a source of great relief. We have second cycle institutions around here. We have Tamale Senior High School, Ghana Senior High School. We have the Northern School of Business. We have the there's a school called Nobi School. We have a lot of schools around here, so that means that there's a cut down in cost of handling.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Sugri Bambangi, assured of government's consistent effort to support the expansion of the agric sector.
We have 80 warehouses under construction currently. 30 of them are being financed from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture budget, and then 50 of them are being financed from the Ministry for Special Development Initiatives budget. So, but that is not the end of it. We intend to keep on at a reasonable pace to expand the warehouses.
Following the use of the grain for the free SHS feeding program, the government of Ghana has committed to replenish the stock by March. Sheila Tamaklu for Joy Business.
Now, the Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Okune, is urging government to leverage greater opportunities in the mining sector to create value for Ghanaians. According to him, high taxes and ground rents would not generate the necessary benefits from the industry for the country.
Leveraging the mining industry for the greater good. We should not just be limiting the value of the mining industry to what we receive. Not that it's insignificant, it is quite significant. Last year, and practically in the last 6 years, we continue to be the #1 when it comes to domestic tax collections. But there's greater value within the value chain, and we need to work together to actually harness this for our country. There's so much potential within the value chain of the mining industry, and we need to collaborate, work together. Various sectors of the economy, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ghana Standards Authority, mining companies themselves, AGI and its members, collaboratively saying that what can we do for ourselves such that when we have a competitive advantage to produce internally, we will, rather than actually importing. So there's huge opportunity for us, and we expect that we should continue to collaborate, especially with government, to see the bigger picture beyond rent. Rent alone doesn't do it. If you speak with the EU, the African Union, even the ECOWAS Commission as well, all of them have understood that one of the banes of Africa is that we have generally seen rents, i.e. corporate tax royalties, as the only value we get from the mining industry. And by considering that we're just shooting ourselves in the foot, what we need to do is to have a broad view of the mining industry and see how best we can grow manufacturing and fabrication. I'm quite passionate about it. My members are quite passionate about it. They're willing to support, they're willing to help. We need partners to help us along the journey, to work with us along the journey.
And that's it for business.